The juniors aren't going to college,
Yeah.
guys.
Oh, yeah,
Juniors,
so
the juniors don't have coverage.
They're
so-
losing all of their letters of rep, basically.
They're losing
because there's
everything.
so much like internal going around too.
Yeah,
Um,
that sucks.
Their UCs, the SAT was quite literally the only way for the UC for any college to compare us to another school because we don't do AP.
But don't you think it'll put more emphasis on just their applications, though?
No, the thing is, COC isn't as highly valued by a lot of colleges as we think it is. The general perception for the admissions officers for COC is what normal high schoolers do. Use it as an excuse to get rid of your requirements.
And usually people take dual enrollment or community college classes to save money. It's not like having community college classes will give you or boost any of your chances as compared to APs. Well, I mean, actually, I'm sure there's some cases where it does do that, but like what I've seen is that from an outside perspective, people take dual enrollment classes at their community college just so they don't get screwed over by freaking College Board or have to pay like a freaking like $90 fee to be enlisted in AP classes.
I mean, I've just always been against the SAT, or just like it didn't feel right in terms of I get that, you know, there needs to be some kind of like a way that we test students, but it's just I'm a firm believer in student individuality and taking everything in terms of not the crystallized knowledge that they know, because not everyone grows up the same way. Not everyone goes to
Problem is,
and
if
when-
you're a college admissions officer, that's almost impossible to see. You cannot design an application that really fully encapsulates that.
That's true.
You really can't, but I feel like the essays, even if it's like a really shitty essay that somebody wrote, just the content in them, or even do something modern, you know, make a video, like just take that, add it
Be
to
more
the thing.
creative.
I wish I could add the video to the UC thing.
Yeah. I also want to bring this up. I'm sure Kusal will agree with me on this. The SAT in itself is very like, it takes up a huge part of like your sophomore, junior, and senior year, right? Because you're always studying for.
so much.
It depends. It depends on who you are. For some people, yes. For others, not really.
Well, yeah, but it's like the main track that most people do.
It
takes up a huge part.
That is almost completely unnecessary because a lot of schools don't value the SAT an insane amount.
Exactly, but like the mindset is that they do, because like that's one of like the main requirements that they use and whatever and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, that's why I think
Kusal, we were also talking once about like how like people should be exploring what they want to do in life instead of doing all this gen ed stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say that's more of a failure on how I think that's just a failure of the educational system. Because it's still just like, I actually did a little paper on this. It was just some really cool facts for you guys, the viewers at home, is that our educational system up to high school from 12th grade was built off of the Industrial Revolution.
It was made for factory workers.
The reason why we needed a public school system is to make a workforce that was capable enough of dealing with the economic systems at that time. Problem is, we're a service industry now, and like the reason why I think we do so well is because we studied at a project-based learning school. Right?
Yeah, honestly, that was more valuable than COC.
It was so much more.
It really was.
Because it's not just we're a service economy now. We are a service economy in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution. Working in teams is probably the most valuable skill you can have, because that is what a robot cannot replicate.
Exactly.
But our education system doesn't really emphasize that. Instead, it prioritizes stuff.
Because they still haven't changed it. They're still trying to stick to that same system with a new industry.
There was a good paper I had read. I'll try to find it and reference it in our upload. But it was about basically how, if you think about the school system, right? The bell rings, you follow orders. You take in the information that the teacher gives to you, and you regurgitate it back. You basically perform the functions of a robot. You're just a piece in a giant machine, right?
Yeah.
But that's not how the world works. If you go to a business, what are they going to do? They're going to give you a problem and expect you to solve it. right? You got to be creative. You have to prove that you can be more than just hands. And that's why I think most of our, people are getting mad at politicians for like, why don't we have jobs? It's not that we don't have jobs, it's we don't have your jobs anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're being phased out. I feel like that narrative, that perspective, that point of view should be brought up more in future debates regarding the politics of our country.
I was just going to say, like, you and I had talked about this where Andrew Yang supported charter schools. And I was actually looking into it. He had a point. The reason I don't like charter schools is because they start enforcing, like, religious stuff onto people and making, if we're in a small city like Santa Clarita, the good charter schools are going to be, like, Legacy Christian Academy. Like, if I want a good charter school, I'll have to choose, like, a religious affiliation. But
not only religion, but it's also just a lot of the charter school, like stuff like Phillips Exeter and like Harvard Westlake, are just these like extremely prestigious private schools for largely the wealthy. They got to have token low income people though, just look nice. But like it just perpetuates a lot of
issues.
Yeah, issues in our country. It kind of keeps the rich where they are, the poor where they are. Because like if you look at the okay, you gotta fucking Google Harvard Westlake and like this isn't a school, it's a college. It's a full-on college with like amount of resources you can't even imagine. And this, I mean, okay, Yang went to one of these schools too, which is actually really interesting.
Yeah, like for instance, like I saw like a big difference in between how I was between like we went to COC and AOC, right? COC was the regular like college experience, a lecture for so and so hours, learn it, go home, practice it, then take the test and see if you mastered it. AOC was much more project-based, stuff like that. And I enjoyed my time much more at AOC because that's what I'm better at. I'm better at presentations. I'm better at projects. I'm better at working in this situation that I am in COC where I'm really low. I have a really bad attention span. Like I have a hard time paying attention to class or whatever. And then like just doing other things or like whatever, which is personally my fault. Like I'm not going to blame it. Like it's hard for me to just stay focused. And I think that's my problem I have to deal with. I saw a difference and I see like how much more beneficial this project-based learning was in general, like how much literally going to AOC just for the project-based learning is so beneficial because it just teaches you a whole different like way of learning that like you learn, like you don't really appreciate it till like later, like right now we're all going to college and then we're like crap.
Yeah. You know, it's not just that, but like in the real world, especially in
exactly, it prepares you much more for real world and how like the workforce is actually going to be.
Trying to do what you're trying to do, like you're in a project-based setting, often with team members in which you are working on. Like you're not regurgitating information; you're creating something new.
Like for instance, I'm going into engineering. In engineering, I'm not going to be regurgitating information. I'm be designing and building and planning stuff out.
And then and just for context for our viewers, so. Our junior year at Academy of the Canyons, it was mostly based on project-based work.
Best year of my life, learning-wise.
Like, yes. So how, for viewers at home, how it was set up, you know, you got your normal high school, but your beginning years, because you can't really do stuff, you still need the direction because you're so young, is that, you know, freshman, sophomore year, they're going to give you the tools, right? They're going to teach you how to use the tools.
Exactly.
They're going to teach you how to write an essay. They're going to teach you what grammar is. They're going to show you just how to navigate through academics.
They're building the foundation for your academic career, basically.
Foundation, right? And then junior, senior year, they throw you in the deep end, and they give you a problem and you solve it. Junior year, they're going to kind of teach you how to solve a problem, but senior year, it's just like you're done. Like you know your stuff. Prove that you know how to do it.
Freshman, sophomore years, you're building foundation, and junior and senior years more apply what you have learned to these projects to show that you've mastered it.
At the high school part, at the college part, you're chasing useless degrees that nobody
exactly.
That's also true.
I'm really curious, Kusal. What are your opinions on the way we have structured English at AOC? Can you like summarize how we do it, and then can you explain your thoughts to the viewers? Because I'm really curious about yours.
Why mine?
Because
you just meme.
STEM, and STEM does, you know, STEM people traditionally aren't really English focused or English oriented.
I think the one thing we miss in English is rhetoric analysis, kind of like analyzing text as opposed to, I mean, like we do a bit of that, but like that's the one thing we really miss. But other than that, I think it's spot on. It's really useful. It builds a lot of communication skills, a lot of like the skills that you like will need. Because like most people aren't going to be like reading 1984 for a living. They're not going to be
English majors.
grammar, like, looking at grammar. You have to have good grammar, but we have Grammarly nowadays. And like other stuff. Also, if you are like actually, even like if you're an author, you will have an editor look at your stuff. Or even if you're publishing like a more scientific paper. And like a lot of this, especially in like science and stuff like that, like the writing is super cut and dry. There's no like artsy stuff in it. Not saying that's like not important. I think it's really interesting, but the stuff it prioritizes is definitely much more universal in its nature.
And honestly, it's helped me a lot because specifically for COC classes, because the format and the knowledge that we have gained at AOC in terms of English essay writing, it has made writing essays super easy and super quick for us when we're dealing with like this lecture-based college work. One other thing we've gotten really good at is like writing things last minute.
That's the one bad thing.
Writing quality material last minute. It's a bad thing for our mental health.
Horrible for our mental health.
But like it's good for our grades.
I mean, I'm gonna just straight up say this. I think that's a good skill to have. Like
that is a very good skill. Honestly,
it's a very good skill. Yeah.
It's for some people, you're just naturally more productive at like when deadlines are coming up. Like that's just how you are.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times there's going to be jobs that are saying last minute they're going to give you an assignment to do and you have to do it fast.
Exactly, right? That's why I think like this economy, it's not just like industrial revolution, you got a timetable, you can stick to it, you just keep on doing the same routine things. But like in this world, things happen so fast that you're going to be asked to do something by your employer in like a second after like something major happens.
So Mark, you're saying my procrastination was actually beneficial to my career path?
There's a difference between
there's a balance.
Procrastination and bad procrastination.
I know, all mine was bad.
Here's the thing, like I think one of our teachers said this, where it was, I don't care how you do it as long as you turn it in, right? As long as you get the work done, you get the product in and it's quality, you're a good worker, right? So I don't diss people for not doing
as long as
work.
you make the deadline. You do have to make the deadline.
Based on what they do afterwards.
Yeah.
Matt.
That is the way that a lot of employers view it too. So what were you gonna say, JD?
Oh, I was just saying, like, Matt, get it in on time. Just saying.
Well, okay. I also have a critique about this. I'm going to straight up and say, like, I do a lot of work late. So, like, but a lot of it also has to do with, I think at AOC, there's not much micromanaging involved as I would like to.
For certain people, it's more beneficial,
Just for people like me, it'd be more beneficial.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like that kind of thing should be more prevalent because, like Mr. Walker said this, Dr. Walker, sorry, our history teacher from junior year said this himself, but like I heard from someone that he was dissing our grade because of the one time like everyone turned in, I think it was one of their finals or something, like we all turned it in like a week late. We've kind of made it okay, especially for the SCP. A lot of people turned in their tasks late.
Very guilty of that.
Yeah, same here. I was really guilty of that. Like, I didn't turn any of them in until like last minute.
Oh, I still haven't done my business.
I actually didn't even know what the hell I was gonna do until like 2 weeks into task 5.
Yeah,
and I think that just has to do with like individual, just how you work as a person.
I mean, I do think like the teachers, they should tether more to like individuality and try to help each student at a different degree. So like
they need a massive raise if they're going to do that.
I mean, AOC teachers are already paid like way more than other schools. So
I think it's more of like you have some students where you actually just need to tell them, here's the assignment, go.
Yeah.
I was going to say how, Matt, you need someone to basically just make sure that you're doing stuff on time, right? This brings back to your need for a strong woman in your life who
a strong woman that will kill me if I do a wrong move. Yeah.
Matt need the dictator. I'm just saying.
The dictator.
Well, all girls just hit up our YouTube channel. You never know. We might just, link up our boy Matt with you.
Yeah. How many
I mean,
people have you murdered?
Or will there be any dictators watching this though?
Now,
That's
all
the
you have to
thing.
do is just answer 3 questions. How many people have you sent to prison illegally for no reason? How many of them have been killed? And just the big one,
to be
how
fair,
much people are under your control in general? Hit us up.
I don't
and
think
we'll let Matt know.
dictators. I don't think dictators will be on Tinder that often. So, like, you know what, boys? We need our own Tinder for dictators.
Hey,
No. You know what the Tinder of dictators is? They point to you.
and then marry.
Straight up, you
And
just
then
hope
the
they
guards
pick you.
come.
No, they just see you online. They point to you, and then the secret service the secret police comes in and just kidnaps you.
Yeah.
You're just you're on
And
your
then
phone one day.
No, and then you just go on a vacation to a random remote country no one's ever heard of.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Forever.
You're just on your phone in the morning, and then boom, you've been super liked.
I mean, it doesn't even have to.
Dictator
Like,
sees you and
you don't even need to be a dictator to do that. Like we've all seen Jeffrey Epstein's island, right? His private island where a bunch of shit goes down.
True.
Not gonna lie.
Just be powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful. Yeah. Kusol's right. Just be.
Yeah. You can either be a dictator in an authoritarian country, or you can just be like an ultra billionaire that's part of the establishment in a capitalist
What's the
country.
difference?
Exactly, right?
I'm gonna need to bleach my ears after what I just heard from Matt right there.
How did we get from micromanaging to dictator having?
Because Matt's fondling of, that's only in the dreams.
Because Matt needs a strong, independent, dictatorial woman to run his life for him.
Okay. Okay. What we're